Hey friends, Sharon Thomas here with Established Footsteps Ministry, and I hope you've had a great week getting started in Colossians 1. So now that we are in the back end of this first week, I just wanted to come on and share for a few moments with you and just encourage you as we get ready to move forward into the 4 verses that are going to be the main focus of our Soul Pilates study in October, because they really hold this prayer that we are going to work our souls out in. If you will, you can think of this week that we have just spent kind of like a warm-up for getting ready to pray. And you might not have ever thought about, warming up to pray, but, that's kind of what this has been. A lot of times in the first few verses, handful of verses in a lot of the epistles, the letters of the New Testament, we can easily just kind of gloss over them quickly because they seem quite introductory, and this could seem that way as well. But hopefully you have found that there's a lot to be considered in these verses. And really what this week was for us as we looked at verses 1 through 8 was just centering in on the power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Looking and seeing how heartfelt Paul and Timothy were about these people who had heard the gospel from this guy named Epaphras, and now their lives had been changed. And Paul and Timothy, not even probably ever having met these people, just had such a heart for them that he just breaks out into this prayer that we're getting ready to study. And he took the time to write this letter, even when he was in the midst of prison. It's believed that Paul wrote and Timothy wrote this letter when Paul was in prison. So, his heart for these people who had just received Christ, that they would really understand their salvation and really be challenged to walk in it, is really quite inspiring. And so, looking at it from that standpoint, but also looking at it from the standpoint of who are the new believers around us that we really should be praying for, and also looking back and remembering and considering, when did I hear the gospel and who told me about the gospel and helped me to grow in the gospel, and have I ever really experienced or ever really expressed my thanks to them. The Lord often in the Old Testament would have his children, the children of Israel, set up memorials so that they would remember things. And certainly the Lord has given us memorials for, the gospel in our lives. But I think sometimes it's just good for us. It's just good for us to go back and sit and ponder that and remember, because the gospel is powerful. And it's supposed to be having a powerful effect in our lives. And one of the ways that we can be intentional about, seeing some of that power be manifested in ourselves is to begin to pray into what the gospel should be in our lives. And that's what we're going to be doing in the next 4 weeks. In fact, I think I mentioned in the first video that got us started for Soul Pilates October, I love finding prayers in Scripture and then making them my own. Because I know that this is praying into the heart of what God desires. I am praying straight into His will with laser focus. And we're going to find that in these next 4 weeks. So I just hope that you have spent some time this week really getting yourself just thoughtful and reflective about the gospel in your own life and in the people around you. And now you're ready and you're warmed up to begin praying into this prayer in the coming weeks. So I'll be looking forward to sharing the workouts with you and the scripture prayer images and some more thoughts as we go along the way. And my prayer for you is that this prayer is not only going to bring about life change during this month, and I'm praying this for you and I'm praying this for me too, but also that it's going to become a prayer that we have in our pocket, that we always have with us, that we can just, use to pray for people, new believers around us, and praying for the Lord just to continue to work out the gospel in our souls. So that's what this Bible study is all about, getting our souls strong. And I really believe this is going to be a great, great passage for that as we move into the prayer part. So finish up your workout for this week. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you've got that settling into the gospel and your experience, and being aware of the people around you who are just experiencing the gospel as new believers, and coming alongside them to pray, all those things. And we'll get ready to start next week into the prayer on Monday. As always, let us hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and click like below on this video. It's still not too late, really, also to share about Soul Pilates with a friend. If you want to invite them along for the journey, they could jump right in on the prayer and spend a few days maybe in this first part like we have. So anyway, I'll be in touch again soon. Have a great day. See ya.